We're continuing with Jodie Whittaker, looking at her second year as as we celebrate the series 12. The 2020 series. First time that a series debuts on New Year's Day for Doctor Who. We haven't seen since the classic Who. New Year's Day was the beginning of a new series for Doctor Who, so therefore they decided to kick off Series 12 in 2020, set us up new adventures for the Doctor. So without further ado, let's have a look and see what we have to work with in regards to Doctor Who Series 12. First story I have to obviously say that I really enjoyed was Spyfall Part 1, Part 2. Love Spyfall. The reintroduction of the Master with a new incarnation. Yeah, the fact that we basically saw the Master return was just a big deal for this series. I think that was the wow factor that was missing. The fact that there wasn't really any big enemies that got him. So it was nice to see that we got finally witnessed the return of the Master in Spyfall Part 1 and Spyfall Part 2. I love that, and I'm very, very happy that we got the in the episode. So that was really fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed the two-parter of the Spyfall and the way that they revealed the Master. The fact that he tricked the Doctor in believing that he was an all of the Doctors, when really it was the Master disguising as that very person just to make the Doctor she was safe. Really, it was the Master tricking him and then basically trapping the Doctor in a basically she trapped the Doctor in a I guess a paradox. Well, her companions are about to crash land to Earth, essentially. So, yeah. Then we go straight into Nicola Teller's Night of Terror. I actually didn't mind this story. I think this story was kind of fun to see an inventor known as Nicola Turris, who essentially was a big inventor, and they did the whole story centered around him, colliding the Warncliffe Tower in 1904, and obviously the story set in 1903 at Nigeria. So that was really cool that he was the guy inventing the wireless power transmitter system that basically invented the whole electricity, I guess you could say. He was basically an important inventor. So I didn't mind that story. I thought that story was kind of nice. Then we had a fugitive of the Jadoon, even though yes, the fugitive of the Jadoon did feature a certain Captain Jack Harkness, which I know most people hate bringing up the name John Barrowman when thinking about Doctor Who, but yes, Captain Jack did make a appearance in the episode in the series. And eventually would return in the revelation of the Dalek. But yeah, essentially, Fugitive of the Doctor was essentially the beginning of this cool moment where Captain Jack helped the Doctor, which was basically trying to get a message across the Doctor about the Jadoon. But then at the same time, the Doctor encountered an unknown incarnation of herself called the Fugitive Doctor, who happened to be played by Joan Martin, who we all thought was just this average human being, but it turns out she was the Fugitive Doctor, a new incarnation that happened before the original series began. Yeah, it was a bit of a shock for many of us to find that out. But yeah, it's really hard to tell if it was a Doctor that happened first Doctor, or whether this was a something that happened between the second and the third. I don't know. It's really hard to pinpoint where she comes in, but either way, this was the introduction of another version of the Doctor that we've never seen before, and it kick-started a lot of speculation as what could this mean for the future of the show. Clearly it meant something, so a lot of people were very curious to see what would happen with that knowledge. So Fugitive of the Jadoon was a really good story. I actually didn't mind the Ascension of the Cybermen. The Ascension of the Cybermen was probably the better story than the Timeless Children. I just didn't like how the Timeless Children played out. I just think the Timeless Children was I just feel like the Timeless Children, bit of a pointless story in my opinion. I think the Ascension of the Cybermen was just more the Ascension of the Cybermen was just, like I said, just a lot more of a finale than Timeless Children in my opinion. And also the fact that they basically made the Cybermen regenerate like Time Lords, which was the most bizarre. The Cybermen made Gallifrey and Cyber. Apparently that makes sense in Doctor Who, apparently. For those I enjoyed in Series 12. Let me know what you think of the series series in the comment section. Yeah, we're going to move forward to Doctor Who Flux, a whole series dedicated to one story, just like how Torchwood Children of Earth a few years ago. Doctor Who is doing a similar thing, just 6 episodes instead of 10 in regards to Flux. So without further ado, we're gonna have a look at that in our next review. So see you then.